Welcome to Witches in Yoga Pants, your cozy corner of the cosmos where modern magic meets everyday life. We're here to explore magic, mindfulness, and personal growth with a grounded, no-fluff vibe. Whether you're into moon rituals, tarot spreads, or just trying to survive Mercury retrograde, you are in the right place. So get ready to disrupt some old patterns, explore what it means to reclaim your power, and remember who you really are. So pull up your yoga mat, light a candle, and let's get into it. Welcome back to Witches in Yoga Pants. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're talking about the stories we live inside, the ones we didn't consciously choose, the ones we've repeated so many times that they feel like the truth, and the quiet, powerful moment when we realize we can begin to tell a different story. The mind is a storyteller. It gathers details, stitches meanings, and narrates who we are and what's possible. Those stories become the lens we look through. Sometimes they're kind and true, but sometimes they're old and heavy. They are hand-me-downs from family, culture, or past versions of ourselves that did the best they could. But we live inside these sentences that we never consciously chose. They sound like, I'm too much, or I'm not enough. If I relax, everything will fall apart. If I speak, I'll lose love. These aren't just ideas. They become the atmosphere. They become the world we live in. We breathe them in until they feel like facts. There is a moment in every healing journey when you realize the pain isn't just what happened to you. It's also the story you kept telling yourself about what it meant. This is how our human brains make sense of the world. The nervous system seeks coherence. The psyche wants a plot. But when the story is too small for the soul, the body will tell the truth. It shows up as tension, fatigue, chronic pain, irritability, constant burnout. These are the places where story and your truth don't match. Rewriting your story isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about offering it a wider meaning. It's the shift from why me into what now. It's what happens when compassion sits down beside honesty and they decide to tell the truth together. This is a spiritual authorship, and you aren't erasing your chapters, but you are reclaiming the pen. Every old narrative was once protective. The belief that you had to be perfect to be loved, the reflex to overwork so that you'd be safe, the way you shrank your voice to keep the peace, each one tried to protect you from loss or pain. That's why we outgrow stories with gratitude, not shame. They saved you once. They just don't fit anymore. The process to rewriting your story begins with awareness. Notice the scripts that show up on repeat. I always mess up. People always leave. My needs are too much. When you hear an absolute, you're likely listening to an old contract. Ask gently, who taught me this? What experience made this feel true? And then ask the most important question, is it still true? And does it have to be? Right there, the doorway opens. Language matters because the nervous system listens. A small edit can change your life. Instead of, I always, try, I used to. Instead of, I can't, try, I'm learning. Instead of, I fail, try, I'm practicing. These aren't empty affirmations, they're bridges. The mind resists leaps it can't believe, but it will cross a bridge that feels honest. I'm not safe because I didn't always feel safe, and I'm learning to feel safe now. I'm alone becomes I used to do it alone, and now I'm letting myself be supported. The body can feel the difference. Every time you feed an old sentence, it grows roots. This is neuroplasticity lived out loud. The brain rewires towards what you repeat and embody. The key word here is embody. You don't rewrite a story only with thoughts. You rewrite it with actions that prove the new sentence is true. If the new story is, I'm allowed to rest, set down a task 5 minutes early and feel what happens. If the new story is, my voice matters, say one honest sentence in a safe room and let the ground hold you. If the new story is, I'm worthy of help, ask for something small and survive receiving it. These are not small moves. They are new evidence, and evidence softens doubt. There's also the inherited piece of this. the family myths that we didn't mean to adopt. We work until we break. We don't cry. We laugh it off. We keep secrets to keep peace. But guess what? You can love your people and still decide the lineage ends here. When you write a different sentence, you change the story for everyone who comes after. That is radical magic. From an energetic lens, we often absorb ideas that aren't ours. They're other people's fear, their urgency, their expectations. And if you tend to pick up the weather in the room, your mind may try to make meaning out of what your body merely sensed. The loop here is feel something, assume it's yours, craft a story to explain it, and suffer inside that story. The antidote is awareness. And yes, there is a human design flavor truth here. Without the mechanics, your mind is here to observe and communicate, not to be your authority. Your old stories get loud when the mind tries to run the whole show. Rewriting your narrative means letting your body, heart, and inner knowing regain a say. One practical thing I love is to let your life overhear you saying new things about yourself. Your nervous system is listening. So are the people who love you. And as the story softens, relationships often become more honest because you're not performing a role, you're telling the truth. And of course, old sentences will try to creep back in, especially when you're tired. It doesn't mean you failed. It means the brain is efficient and it reaches for a path it knows. This is why we edit with compassion. You can say, there's that old chapter. Thank you for keeping me safe back then, but we're rewriting something new now. And then take one small action that matches your new page. Tiny acts of alignment add up to a new life. Rewriting your story doesn't remove grief or complexity. It gives them a place to live that doesn't swallow you whole. You can acknowledge harm without making your identity the harm. You can name loss without deciding that you're defined by it. You can remember what shaped you while choosing what leads you. That's the adulthood of the soul. You get to become the author. So if there's a sentence you've been living inside that no longer fits about your worth, your voice, your body, your love, consider this your invitation to try out a new line. You don't have to change everything to change your life. You only have to change the story you practice most. Until next week, keep your words gentle, your stories true, and your choices aligned with who you're becoming. Take what you've heard today even further by joining my newsletter community. Each week, you'll receive journal prompts and reflections connected to the episode that are designed to guide you in bringing these conversations off the podcast and into your own journey. Let's keep going deeper together. The link is waiting for you below.